Baseball is a brother. It's the beginning, it's the birth, right? The A is the beginning and the end. And then the D after and then once the whole cycle has been completed, right? You complete the cycle, that's the diamond in of itself, right? That is the diamond, which is the death, which means that it's over. Right? Oh, it's over. The game is over. What's after the game? The fire is after the game. Okay? Fire, right? And this is how it goes, right? The A is the alpha. The A is the alpha. Okay? The A is the alpha. The A is the A. Look at the deck of cards. What do you have? Deck of cards. It's an ace, right? The ace. We look at, ace is before the beginning. A's, A goes to B. B is beginning, right? B, Jen, right? Where's Jen? Jen is Jen. That's how you begin it. Logo from the channel. Logo from the channel. There you go. He did. Right there. Right through the words. Yeah. Birth. It's also birth. Right? And after B is C. Right? As you see this diagram, baseball diamond. The baseball diamond is the completion of the cycle that followed the beginning. And the birth and the brotherhood. Right? Which is baseball. Okay, so baseball is B. Baseball is B. The creation of the cycle is C. Baseball is a brotherhood. Baseball is a brotherhood. It's the beginning, it's the birth, right? The A is the beginning and the end. And the D after and then once the whole cycle has been completed, right? Complete the cycle, that's the diamond in of itself, right? That is the diamond, which is the death, which means that it's over. Right? Oh, it's over. The game is over. What's after the game? The fire is after the game. Okay? The fire is after the game. Isn't that interesting? The fire, what's the fire? The fire is the aftermath, right? It's what happened. It's what happened after it's done. Oh, it's done. I feel free, right? Once you complete a cycle, how do you feel? You feel free, don't you? After you complete the cycle, you feel free. Because you completed the cycle, right? And so the cycle is the C, which is after the B, which is the beginning, which is after the A, which is the alpha. So alpha is the initiation, which is the first thought, which is oneness, which is the dimension of the beginning. Because the beginning happens after the initiation. So before there's beginning, there is God. God became one. God split himself. God was Adam. Adam was God. Adam was God. Adam is God. Because Adam created the beginning. Adam, action, the beginning. And the beginning birthed the creation, right? Which completed the destruction, right? And so that's how the alphabet works. The alphabet is everything. Everything is an alphabet. See, alphabet, that's AB, right? What is AB? AB, right? It's Antonio Brown. But no, AB is the alpha and it's the beginning. So before the beginning, there's something before the beginning because there's no beginning in time. So before there's time, there was alpha, there was Adam. Adam was before time. And so once Adam split into two, gave the rib to Eve, right? That's when there was now split. Now the split is what? Masculine, feminine, right? Then there was the split. Then after that, that's when the beginning was created, right? So what is the beginning? What even is the beginning? Anyway, the beginning is the birth. The beginning is the birth. The beginning is the breath. The beginning is the breath, right? The beginning is the breath. Okay, it's right there in the letters. They're both B's. Beginning is the breath. Beginning is the breath, which is the birth. The birth is the breath. The birth isn't coming out of the womb. The birth is the breath. And so you become alive by beginning the breath. By A is an affirmation. Oh, wow, look at there. A is affirm. A is affirmation. Okay, so affirmation is what's affirmation? Beginning, affirmation, birth, affirmation B, right? What's after B? B, right? And then C is the completion of the creation cycle. The completion of the creation cycle completion, right? The creation cycle completion, right? D is the diamond. D is the diamond, right? D is diamond. It's just four. It's just four. That's all it is. D is defense, right? D, it's D. So what is the D? It's done. The D is done. It's when it's done. So before there is the beginning and the end is the affirmation, right? And there you go. That's the day. That's how the day goes. The beginning and the end is the affirmation. That's the key. Affirmation is the beginning and the end. It literally is. And so is Adam. Adam is also the beginning and the end. Because the affirmation is the beginning and the end, the beginning and the end. And then the beginning is what? The beginning is the breath. And because the beginning is also the end, right? It means the end is also the breath and the affirmation. Right? That's how it works. And then during the day is the completion of the cycle. Right? So the day is about creation. Right? The day is about creation, and the D is the day. The day is once it's done. Okay, there is no day without the completion of the cycle. And there is no completion of the cycle without the breath, which is the beginning. And there is no beginning without the atom. Right? The atom is the atom. The atom is the process, is the whole thing. So it's Adam. Adam is the first dimension. And then after the atom, it splits down into BC. BC, right? BC before Christ, but it's not necessarily one. BC is begin and create, right? It's breath and cycle, right? The beginning of the creation cycle, right? So the whole concept of every day is the same. The whole concept of that is the alphabet. It's literally it's the alphabet. And so D is the diamond. It's the death. It's the day. It's done. The day. Every day is the diamond. Every day is the diamond, right? Which is the ace. The ace is first and last, is it? Right? In cards, in poker, right? The ace. It's 13 and it's 1. It's 13 and it's 1. The ace is 13 and it's 1. Beginning and the birth is the breath. After the breath is the creation cycle, which completes the day. After the day is done, right? Evolves, right? You evolve at the end of the day. And you evolved at the end of the day. The point is to end with evolution, right? And to exit the day that's done with entering, right? Erase what is done in the day and enter a new day, initiating the cycle with the affirmation and the breath, which is AD. The affirmation and breath, it creates the cycle of the day, which is done. Which then exits the day, which then exits which then it evolves, right? Because to end the day that's done, the creation of the cycle creates the entry to the exit, okay, or the exit. So when you die and go to the afterworld, right? You're exiting and entering. So the exit and the entry is the same, right? Okay. The exit and the entry. After the exit and the entry is what? It's the face. Okay? It's the face. What is the face? The face is on top of the ace. So what's the face? Right? The face, to face your fear, is to face freedom, to feel free. Right? To face fear is to face freedom, to feel free. Right? To face your fear is to face freedom, to feel free. Quad feed. Right? And that's the quad feed. And so the
So filling in a slide here that we did not put in the first time. We are creating this. As we are creating this, we have 1 and we have 13. And so if you look at it, the one is Adam. Adam is the ace, right? From Adam, which is the ace, is the beginning and the end, right? And which is 1 and 13, right? And so 2 through 12 goes within, which is the cycle of creation, right? The cycle of creation. The cycle of creation is the Last Supper, right? The cycle of creation is the Last Supper. Or in other words, it's the family, it's the friends, right? So where does the faith come from? The faith comes from the fire, which is the family. Faith comes from the fire, which is the family. The family is the fire. Okay, the family is the fire. So that's how it works. The family is the fire. And it's the baseball field, right? It's the baseball field, the game, right? So the family is the fire. The family is the fire. From Adam, which is wholeness. Adam is wholeness. Adam is the ace. Adam is holiness. Wholeness is holiness, which is oneness. From wholeness is the beginning and the end. And within the beginning and the end is the cycle.
is there. So what letter of the alphabet is that? Actually, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, right? F, then creates G. So once the face, once after the face is there, the face creates the fire. So everyone sees the face, right? Everyone sees the face. Once it's on fire, everyone sees the face when it's on fire. Everyone sees the fame. Everyone sees the fortune, right? Everyone can see it.
Right, okay. So this is another slide we'll be adding as well. You guys get to see it live. What we have here is it's called fame and fortune, right? So it's going deeper into the letter F. It's going deeper into the letter F. The letter F is one of the fractals of the universe. Fractals equals alphabet. Universe equals alphabet. Fractals equals the letters in the alphabet, right? So F is the universe. And within the F is everything that's within the frequency of the F, right? So the F in of itself is part of what? It's part of the alphabet. The F is part of the alphabet, okay? Alphabet we have is the letter F. All right, so we're going to go over what you're about to witness is we're going to go over the fame and the fortune, right? And the fear around fame and fortune, and the projections of society seeing that fame and fortune seems to be fake. It must be false, right? The fame and the fortune, it must be fake. It must be false. Something must be wrong with it because it can't be true. And the reason why that this happens, you're bound to see, and we're going to go into it deeper, is the alphabet. The F, right? Is because the fame and the fortune. It's because it's only you can only see it after what? What's before F? What's before F is E, right? So it's right after the end. The fame and the fortune is after the end. Okay, and so what's before the end? When the discipline is done. Okay, so the discipline is done. No one sees the end. No one sees when the discipline is done. They just see the fame and the fortune, right? They see the fame and the fortune. They didn't see the end. They didn't see the discipline, right? They didn't see the creation cycle, and they didn't see the birth, which is the breath. They didn't see the action, which is the affirmation. They didn't see the whole process. They just saw the fame and the fortune, right? And the projection is that the fame and the fortune must be false or fake, right? But the fame and the fortune isn't false. Is it fake, right? Is it false? Is it fake? Or did it take a feeling? Did it take faith, right? And did it take fire or a flame? And we're going to see right here coming up next. So it appears fake. It appears fake because guess what? They didn't see the initiation, which was the affirmation in the breath, the beginning of the creation of the process, and the day that's done, which is death, right? And they never saw that. All they saw was the face. Because they saw the face, they feared the face because they did not see the process, right? They feared the face because they did not see the process, which is started with Adam. Started with Adam, which is the breath, the affirmation in the breath, the creation cycle, which creates the day that's done. How long can you go without interrupting the thought? That's the new level of thought. So affirmation, breath, creation cycle, death, day is done, right? So why do people have fear? What does fear come from? Fear comes from seeing the face and feeling and thinking and fearing the face, fearing, right? That fame and fortune is fake, right? And filthy. It's filthy. Fearing the fake. The fame is filthy, right? The fame is filthy. The fame is filthy, which is fake, right? And that's how it appears to be, because you was only seeing the end. You didn't see the cycle of the process. But we're going to get back into this episode. Because fame and fortune, they only can see the face because they didn't see what happened before the face, right? All they can see is how it looks now. Oh, you look fake. Oh, I'm afraid of that because I don't know what the process looks like. What's the process? The process is A, B, C, D, E. Before you get to F, which is fear, which is fake, which is fame, right? And so why is fame and fortune? So fame and fortune, from one point of view, is fake because that's the aftermath. That's after the end. That's after the evolution. That's after you erase the day that's done. Okay. So fame is fake. Fame is fake. The reason why fame is fake is because it's only the face, right? It's not. It's fear. We fear fame. We fear fame. We fear fame and faith, and so we have to have faith to feel freedom. We have to have faith to feel freedom. Freedom, form, free, right? Every shot, every one that's in a row is a kill, and everyone that's not is a. So when the programs work for you, it's the F. When the programs work for you, it's actually a P. It's a quad.
And so every thought that's not the program that you're creating in that moment is someone shooting at you. And so that's what random programming is. A random program is a program that you didn't create, that someone put into you. And so your initial programming is already perfect, which is God's DNA. God's DNA is the alphabet. And so before, it's only filters. So what's filters? Filters come from fearing the face, which is faith, right? Filters come from feeling faith, right? It's faith, right? It's faith. But and so you remove certain words because you use certain words, but some words don't resonate. Why? Fame and fortune feel faith, but is it a feeling or is it an unconscious projection, right? And so then there's other programs that go into the program of what this matrix actually is. And when we get to M, I'm sure it'll be discovered. What that actually means, right? M is feeding, right? M is feeding. M is the most. M is the most meaningful math, right? That's mesmerizingly magnetic, which is the mom, the mother. The mother is the mesmerizing, magnetic, methodical, mathematicianal, right? Mouth dropping. Anyway, F. F is the faith. So to feel the feeling of freedom, fame, and fortune without fear is to feel faith, right? To feel faith, which is the fire. To feel faith and fire, to feel the feeling of freedom, right? And to do so by forming, feel the feeling of freedom, which is faith, is to face your fear. Because when by facing fear, you then ace, right? You ace the test. How do you ace the test? What is the test? The test is to walk by faith, not by sight, as the Bible says, right? And so it's by having faith that you begin. Before the beginning is action. So you act before the beginning is there. Action actually is the whole thing. So action is the only thing that actually exists. Action is the only thing that actually exists. But within action is everything else, which is the beginning, the creation, the death. The beginning, the creation, the death. The evolution. What's after evolution is the fame. But because of fame is fortune. Fame is fortune. Faith also is the beginning and the end. So any of the letters can be the beginning and the end because they all come from once, which is Adam, which is affirmation. Affirmation and action both start with A. And so the action is the affirmation is the action, which is the Adam. And so in one dimension, action is one of the dimensions. Affirmation is one of the dimensions. And they both are happening simultaneously. So everything exists quantumly, all at the same time, right? So that's faith. Faith, feel freedom, fame, free, right? So to feel freedom is to face fear, right? And to feel the faith of the fire, which is filthy fame, and fortune. Filthy fame, fortune. So filthy fame, fortune appears fake. It appears fake because there's no proof of it yet, right? And so we want proof. Humans want proof. How could it be real? I've never experienced that before. So to feel fame and fortune is to faith, to feel the fire of faith, and freedom is the feeling. Freedom is the feeling. The fortune is the feeling. The fame is the feeling. The feeling, right? The feeling is after the evolution. The evolution creates a feeling. And when you take out of linearity, it's all one. Yes. But using the context here to explain the context. That's the point of the whole dimension. That's the point of the alphabet anyway. I mean, the idea of making the source right now. So E, F, G. So guess what? What's after F? What's after F? Well, what's after F is G. Okay, G. It's after F is G. What is G? G is God. G is God. G is good. Okay, what's good? Oh, it's good. So it can be labeled good after what? It's only good after the feel. The goodness is gracious, grace. God's grace, goodness, gracious, right? The alphabet, G. You have good, you have God, you have great, you have grace, right? You have creed, right? Greed is there, right? What is greed? What is greed? Right? Greed or God? Greed is greed good? Well, greed is there's a G, which means it comes from good. Greed is good. Why were we taught that greed is bad? Think about that. We're told that certain things were bad and certain things were good. Why is greed? Well, it looks like greed is actually good because they're both G. The greed and good are what? Greed and good are polar opposites. They're polar opposites, which means that's the duality section of the alphabet letter G, right? Is that greed is good. So because greed is good, okay, greed is good. Greed is good because you are God. God created greed, right? That's part of the experience. Everything is God's experience. Everything is part of God's experience. Not good or bad, but they're good and bad are both things that exist. She is also girl. She is girl, right? Girl is good. Girl is greed. Girl is good. Girl is greed. Girl is great. Girl is grace. Grace is girl, right? Gay. Gay is also G. So gay is also G. It seems like there's a lot of G's. We were told gay is wrong, gay is bad. We were told greed is good, greed is bad. Depending on, this is partially perhaps a projected perspective of own personal childhood beliefs that are necessarily true to have to put the entire perspective of the entire humanity. So G is greed, right? G is greed. What else? Guess, right? G is a guess. Okay, G is a guess. So you connect the dots. G is a guess. G is a ghost. What to ghost? A ghost, right? What is a ghost? Right? What is a ghost? What is a guess? What is a guess? What is a ghost? What is a guess? Good question, right? Good question. G is a guess. Okay, a ghost. Good God, great grace. Greedy girl, gay guess. Right? So how do you use this in terms of the other letters? Right? The other letters. Because the letters are within the alphabet. The alphabet is A, which is Adam, which is the beginning. Adam then forms the beginning. Adam forms the beginning, which is the brotherhood, which is the breath. So the breath is to begin to birth. F, filthy face, right? We went over F. We went over F. What F actually is the fake. You know, it can appear to be fake. The face. The face look fake, right? The face can look fake. The fame, filthy fame, freedom, fortune, the fame, the fortune is the face. It's because it's what you can see, right? It's because you can see. So it only comes, and it comes as part of the process of the end. So at the end, the exit enters the fame. The exit after the discipline is done. The discipline is done creates the entrance of the exit,
which is the evolution, which creates the form, which creates the force, which creates the freedom, right? And so it all comes down to the first letter is A. First letter is A, action. And so the key here to really come to oneness is to not look at necessarily that one is before the other, because they're all part of the same process. That one is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? But it's not, oh, this first, and then it's not how it works. It's how it works. So that's G, right? G is God. G is God. God is good. God is great, right? God's great. God's grace. God's grace is God's grace is no is greedy. God's grace is yes. That's what God's grace is. Good. Sweet. Right? God's grace is good. Okay. So that's the alphabet. That's the alphabet, but that's G. So let's get to H. Right? The alphabet H. H is hot. H is head. H is head. H is heart. Okay. The head of the heart. 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 The head of the heart, which is holy. The hot head of the heart, which is holy. How? So how? That's a good one. That's actually really good. How? A lot of times we ask how. We ask how to God, and we don't get the answer necessarily. God says walk by faith, doesn't he? God says walk by faith. All right, so this part coming up that we see is one of the parts that is it's really good. This is a good part coming up actually, and as we see this playing out. Let's see here. As we see this playing out, would love to see this. We're gonna do another slide here as well. We're gonna let it play. So we ask how, but how is only after. How? Once you've already done it, now you know how. Because you did it. You did the discipline, which was done, which is the day. The day is the discipline. The discipline is the day, which is the death. Right? The day is the 3D program. By the way, day is 3D program. Death is the entrance and the exit of the 3D realm is the deliverance, right? From the fear of death. Right? So that's what it is, the fear of death. The fear of death is a linear perspective. So to enter higher, the higher, H is higher self. H is higher self. So how enter is higher self. How enter is holiness. How holy. How hot head. Right? Hot head. That's that. So it's heart. Higher self is the heart. Higher self is the heart, which is holy. The higher self is the heart, which is holy. The higher self is the heart, which is holy. And how is to host, right? How is to host? To host is to be the head. Okay. To feel hot, you have to host the head. You have to be the host. The host heads the experience, which is the higher self, which is holy. How? By hosting. Right? So there is no how. How is oneness. Oneness is the how. Oneness is realizing that the circle, the completion. One is a circle. One is zero. Okay. One is a zero. The higher self is holy, which is host. Which is the host, which is the head. Head of what? Right? The head of what? Well, there's a culture. There's a head and there's a tail. So the head is the beginning is the higher self. The beginning is the host. Right? The beginning is the host. The beginning is the heart. Beginning in the heart. The heart is zero. The heart is oneness. Above zero is plus one, which is the head. Right? You ever heard the concept? Oh, you're in your head right now. Right? That's because you're plus one.
You went above the heart, right? Because you think you're better than holiness, right? So to be in the head, to be in the ego, is to think that you're smarter than your higher self. It's to think that you know better than the universe. It's to think you know better than God, right? And then that's what happens, right? It's to think that you're smarter than your heart. To think that you know better than your heart, right? The higher self is the heart. It is the host. The higher self is holy. The higher self is the head. The higher self is the head. The higher self. There's the higher self and there is the head. There is the heart. How to find the heart is to enter the higher self. Right? How to enter holiness? How to be the host? How to be the host is to what? Is to enter the higher self through the heart, which creates holiness. Right? And that's how you feel hot. What is hot? Hot is heat. Heat comes from what? The F. Heat comes from the F, which is what? The flame. The F. You get hot when you touch when you feel the flame. Right? You get hot when you feel the flame. Feeling the flame. Right? Feeling the flame, which is the fire. Feeling the flame, which is the fire, which is the fame and the fortune. The fame and the fortune faces the fear of feeling filthy, right? And you can work these words around however you want. And I'm pretty sure there's a game on this. By the way, there's a video game. There's a phone game on this where you connect the letters. It's already been created. It's not my invention. This has already been existing. The entire gates of the universe. This is already happening right now and always, all the time. The alphabet H. This is simply the truth of how it all works. This is the truth. It's not my knowledge, not your knowledge. So the higher self is the host. The host is the higher self, which is holiness. Holiness. Right? And guess what? Guess what else? Remember the movie by Louis Sacon? Holes. What does that mean? What does holes actually mean? Right? What does holes actually mean? There are holes. Okay? There are holes. We have holes in our. So we were told that a hole means there's something wrong. Right? Or we were saying, oh, there's a hole in your bucket. You need to fill that hole in. You need to fill that hole in. Right? So a hole is what? The hole. Hole is the hole. Add the W. Add a W to the H. O-L-E. That's the hole, but with the W. So what is the hole? Right? So what is the hole? The hole is the hole is the circle. The host is the head of the whole, which is the higher self. So the host isn't you or me. The host is the higher self. The host is the heart. The host isn't you and me. The host is the higher self. The host is the heart. The host is the higher self. The host is the heart, which is holy. And so to face the fear of feeling fake is to fill in the holes, which is to allow the heart, the higher self, to host. Which is to allow the higher self to host. Fill the heart. H also has hate. What is hate? Hack. Hack is also an H word. Hell and heaven. Hell and heaven are also H's. Hell and heaven are also H's. Yeah. Hell and heaven are H's. Hot and hills. There are hills. Right? Hills. There are hills. What is a hill? A hat. A hat. Okay. The cat in the hat. Right? The cat in the hat. What about it? Right? It's the cat in the hat. That's how it works. Here. H is here. Here is the here and now, which is the heart, the higher self. The higher self is here in holiness, in the here and now.
The higher self is here in holiness, in the here and now. In the here, in the heart. Right? Hesitation is hell. Hesitation is hell. And it creates hate. Right? Hate comes from hesitation, which comes from hell. Hell is because there's holes in the head, because the head thinks it knows more than the higher self. The head wants to put the hat on and hopes, because the head is thinking of the how. The head is thinking of the how, the training balance field. And Jin, which is the begin is the beginning, right? Is that the beginning is the higher self, which is the heart, which is what? The affirmation, the action, which is the Adam. Okay, which is the Adam, is the to ask questions. To ask. Asking is being at, cause is the ace, the assumption, the action. Right? So H. H is holy. H is the head. H is the higher self. But notice how each alphabet has the polar opposites. Each letter has the good and the bad. Each letter has the right and the wrong. And then from a higher point of view, they're both just tools to complete the cycle. They're not necessarily something to judge or to be wrong about, because it's part of the process of the cycle. So what is the cycle? Right? The beginning and the end. What is the infinity? Because the infinity might even be something else. And perhaps we'll get that, because now we're on the alphabet letter I, because I is after H. Just in timing for the infinity. Okay? Just in time. The alphabet I, okay, the alphabet I is what? Illinois, right? Illinois, island, isolation. Isolation is after heaven or hell. Isolation is after hate, right? Isolation is after hate, okay? Isolation also can be a form, because it's not just that. It's also a form of entering the higher self. And so the entering the higher self is after hate. Hate is after what? It's after fear. Fear is after what? Fear is after the evolution, or the evasion. You either evolve or you evade. You evolve or you evade, right? So you evolve or you evade. You face or you fear, right? Face or you fear, right? How about that? You face or you fear, okay? You evolve or you evade. So there's choices. Each letter of the alphabet has two choices. Okay, you have choices to make. Not that you have two choices. Each is the polar opposites, the duality of reality. The oneness creates choice. Okay, what is the choice? Potential. Potential is the choice. You have choices. Okay, so you do have choices. Isolation. Okay, the island is isolation. Okay, isolation. It's like in basketball, when you take the ball and you say, I'm not going to use my team. I'm not going to pass. I'm going to go by myself. The island is isolation. Okay, isolation. Okay, the island is isolation. And so work on not judging what the word is, or having a filter or a belief of what the word means, without fully understanding what the word actually means. Okay, and so because the word, right, the world must be filled with the word. And so what is the word? What is the word? Right? The word is potential. The word is life, the word is death. Right? The word is life, the word is death. It is the potential of both. Right? So the world speaks the word. What word are the world speaking? Life or death? Life or death. Right? And they're both part of the process of life and death, which is the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end, the alphabet. Isolation, island, Illinois. Okay. Is, right? It simply is. What else? Height. Okay. What's the actual vocabulary word? What's the actual dictionary say? Right? Because the dictionary is already beside yourself. So the I is what? IT. Okay, it is isolation. Isolation. It is isolation. It is I. It's just I. I is isolation. I is what? I, 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 I. I is isolation. I is believing that one is separate from the whole. I is believing that they're separate than the whole. Okay. That's what they say. There's no I in team, right? There's no I in team. I is the isolation. It's believing that you're better than the team, which is believing that you're smarter than the higher self, which when you go above neutrality, right? So it's when you say, I'm going to go, and this is just one of the perspectives, because it's not your whole perspective. There's multiple perspectives. So one of the perspectives is that the I is the plus one. I is plus one. There's zero, there's plus one. Plus one is I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to shoot it. That's the ego, right? The ego is not good or bad, right or wrong. The ego says, I know enough, I'm going to do it now. I know what to do. I don't need the higher self. I know what to do. And so the ego, it can be good, it can be bad. There are limits, right? There's a way. To use it to your advantage, there's a way that you use it to use to your disadvantage. So to know the ego is to defeat the ego, right? And so the ego is not the enemy. The ego can be, but it also can be your friend. The ego can be your friend or the enemy. It's either one. It's both. It's always both, and it's always how you choose to look at it, right? It can be used for good, and it can be used for bad. It can be used for you. It can be used against you, right? And so that is how it works. Okay, so that's I. The I is isolation. It is I. It's like, think about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, right? He's dribbling down the court. Kobe Bryant was a lot of people told him that he wasn't a passer. He didn't pass the ball. He only shot for himself. Kobe's defense was, everyone else doesn't put in the work I do, so I'm going to take all the shots. I don't need anyone else to shoot. I'm going to take over the game. And many really great players have had that skill. And they do have that skill now in today's game. Virtually everyone has that skill. They can use the isolation, which means they can go, what? One-on-one, right? Who are you going one-on-one with, right? The self. You're going one-on-one with yourself. Isolation is going one-on-one with your reflection. Everyone is your reflection. So everyone is a one-on-one, which is a reflection of you, which is I. I and you is we. We creates I and you. I and you creates we. We creates I and you. This is chemistry, right? This is trigonometry, or whatever it's called. This is the alphabet. I is isolation, right? I is isolation. It says, I'm Kobe Bryant, get out the way. It's Ninja going solo squat and saying, my brother keeps dying, I don't gotta revive him. Like, cause he keeps dying. I'm just gonna do it all myself. Sometimes leaders get frustrated at the performance of other people and they want to say, screw them. I'm better. I'm just going to do it myself. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes that could be the right play. And sometimes it'll work. Sometimes it won't work. Right? But it's always at the end, right? You can stay there. You can stay there. And there's no rule that says you can't do that. There's no pre-written rules in reality, other than the rules you believe in your own. You can actually free yourself by facing fear and feeling freedom, which is faith, right? Facing fear of feeling faith and feeling the fire of fame and fortune and filthy fire, which is free, right? Okay? So the I is isolation, it's the island. It's the island. And ISO is the ego. So the ego speeds up the process, right? Because they're usually the right play. If you're playing chess and basketball, the right play is to not do the isolation, right? The right play is I'm gonna make the team better. But sometimes you'll have to run plays. Well, you'll do the isolation. So it won't be every play though. But it'll be some days the play is isolation. And so let go of day, some moments. It goes all the way down to moments, right? So when you let go of the word day is time. Okay, day can be used, but when you let go of the day, you're now in the moment. In the moment, all possibilities exist. But before you get to a moment, what stops people from experiencing the present moment is the labels of time, right? Because the present moment is oneness. Present moment is above duality. Duality is, this is what I have to do, this is what I can't do. This is what it's the rule that limits reality in of itself, right? So the isolation, it's the I, right? It's the I. There's no I in team. There's no I in team. But sometimes the ego will decide to speed up the process and take matters into his own hands. The ego says, I'm just going to speed up the process. Okay? So I don't want to wait. And so it's realizing oneness. Oneness is the realization that there is oneness. And within oneness, there are choices. There are good and bad. And within good and bad, we're scattered into even more and more and more alphabet letters. Right? Because after I is J. Right? What's after I? J. What is J? J is Jordan. J is John. J is Joseph. J is Jesus. J is Joe. J is Jack. J is the name. J, right, is job. Okay, J is job. So a job comes after the island, which is the I. So the job, what is the job? The job is a word. Job. Job is the initial, is from the Bible as well. Job. Okay. Job is J, right? J, Jess. What Jack and Jill, right? Jenna, Jack, anything J. Now, there's not a lot of words with the letter J that I'm currently personally aware of, perhaps in the English language. But J, I believe, is in a different language. There's more J's in what you would call, I believe, Spanish or perhaps French. There are J's, there's not many J's in English language. And so, which means is there's a cognitive dissonance in English speakers that they're not able to perceive of the J, whatever J is a frequency, and then it exists in the other languages that use the letter J. For example, Juan, J is actually silent. So J is silent because there's not that many J's. So J is Juan. J is Juan. J is Jose. J is Spanish. J is Espanol, right? J is Espanol, which is Juan. Juan Jorge is a silent J. It's actually silent. So the J is silent. Jordan is silent, right? Jordan is silent because the J is silent, right? Does that make sense? So J, joke, right? The joke, there's joke, job. The J, the key here is it's not English. So this one is not English. This is Spanish. So J, you enter a different language. Now a different language, right? And you have the Tower of Babel, that story. But I'm gonna go into more of this. Is the alpha is J, right? J is job. J is right. Jack and Jill. What we're really seeing is there's words here in the Spanish language, and perhaps other languages too. So there's more languages than just English. The alphabet. Who created the alphabet? Is it the Latin alphabet? Is it what are the other ones? Is it the Incan? Is it the Mayan? Where was the origination and how long did we use it? We've always been using it. And before there were letters, what was there? There was just thought, which was what? Telepathy. Because what I'm saying is before there's a label, there's nothing. 0 is 0. A label is 1. So an affirmation is a conscious word and a conscious thought, a conscious creation. An action is a conscious creation. Before there's action, there's nothing. Nothingness then creates action. Okay? And so to do something consciously is +1. Do something subconsciously is -1. Sub is under, right? Sub is under 0. And so because sub is under 0, that means that it happens under the level of consciousness. So 0 is consciousness. Consciousness creation is the +1, and then -1 is the subconscious. So when you hear the term consciously chosen subconscious programs, conscious is choosing to go from 0, right? Surrender -1, get to 0, and then put on +1 to make +1 -1, which then makes the +1 and -1 the same. And that's oneness. When we merge +1 and -1, that creates oneness. Okay, so what does that mean? What you did yesterday is -1. Okay, it's -1. It's over, right? And then today, you either start at, so today, when the cycle, because cycle +1 -1 0 is right. Really, the diagram with the whiteboard here really good to actually describe this is it just would make more sense. But what you see here, as I see it in my mind, is that what you do is the key to oneness is to have yesterday and tomorrow look the same, right? It's to have next moment and last moment the same. So how do you have every moment the same, right? Or every day. So for every day to be the same, that's what it is. Every day is the same. Every day is the same. Why is every day the same? Right? It's because when you were in oneness with yourself, yesterday looks like today. But today is a new day for the discipline, which is the discipline of the doing, right? To get the day done. Which evolves, you evolve at the end of the day, and it's an ever evolving process. There's always simultaneously occurring at all times simultaneously. The J, J is the J, which is the silent J in English to Spanish. Then you can begin using other languages because it's the same day every time, same week every time. So then to do the same day in every language, it's as simple as translation. What is translation? Is to know yourself in oneness. To know yourself in oneness is to speak any language, because every language is the same language, which is oneness. And so above the concept of languages is oneness. Love. That's why they say love is the universal frequency, right? Because even if so are jokes. That's what J is, right? So jokes work even if someone doesn't understand, because they just feel it, right? It makes them laugh. Sometimes you laugh because you're confused. Sometimes you laugh because you get the joke. Sometimes you laugh because it's awkward, right? Sometimes you laugh because everyone else is laughing. So it's just energy. It's energy transfer. Joke is energy transfer. And it's another language. So you can speak the joke could be in any language, right? The joke could be in any language. And so that's what J is. The J is silent in English. And then the J is the joke, which is Juan Carlos Juan, which is job, which is one, right? And so this is basically like this SpongeBob episode where he's going through, the brain, where he's going through all the notes of his brain, and all of the thoughts in his brain were going crazy. They're going left and right and up and down. And remember that episode of SpongeBob? His brain, and that's what this is. To reclaim wholeness. Right? So what is it? It's to become whole. And so to all your parts, this is what schizophrenia is. It's when you have parts of yourself that are going against each other. Right? It's what fragmentation is. It's when you have parts of yourself that are going against each other. It's when your thoughts, words, and your actions are misaligned. Right? It's when there's misalignment somewhere. Right? So misalignment comes from splitting away from oneness, which is leaving the heart going into the head, leaving the team going into the eye. Right? I'm going to do this by myself. Right? I don't need anyone. I'm better than everyone. But it's realizing that there is no you and me anyway, because we're already one. And so even if someone or people, so here's what I'm seeing, is that oneness is the team. Someone can, for example, there's nothing wrong with this. The campfire is the oneness. Campfire is 0. And so if you leave the campfire, guess what's going to happen? If you leave the campfire, you're going to lose the fire. Okay? But you can always come back to the campfire. What's the campfire? Campfire is the heart. The campfire is the heart. Campfire is the higher self. Higher self is the head. Okay? Not the ego, but the higher self. The higher self is the head. The higher self is the head. And so it's also the heat. The higher self is the heat, which is the heart, right? Which is the head. So the host must be the head, right? The host must be the heart. The host must be, right? And that's how it works. The host must be the head, which is the heart. So you leave the head, it's like leaving the fire of the camp. It's like leaving the campfire. You're leaving the heart. The heart is the campfire. The heart space is the campfire. Stay close to the fire. What does that mean? It means stay close to God. Stay close to faith. Stay close to God is to stay in the heart. The heart is the whole. The heart is the whole. The heart is the campfire. Campfire is the whole. The heart is the campfire. Right? So the fire is the heart, which is the heat. Right? Which is the heat. Which is the fire. Which is the hot. Right? That's what it is. Right? That's the H. That's what the H is. Right? The heart, that's what the J is. The head is the heart. So the I, and then the J, and then J, then you have K, L, and then O P. I really like that one, the campfire. That's what the campfire is. You ever say, oh, stay close to the campfire? They always say, stay close to the campfire. What is the campfire? The campfire is not the ego. Okay? Sometimes people will take, whenever we own this, we want to take credit. Right? We want to take credit for what God did. We want to take credit for what the higher self created. And the ego wants to get credit for it. And that's part of the process. Sometimes you get too much positive feedback into your head. That's what a hot head is. It's just someone that's, their head's got hot. Right? And there's not good, bad, right, wrong. But everyone always comes back to wholeness in the end. And the beginning from wholeness, the end to wholeness. So where's home? Home is the heart. Home is the heart. Does that make sense? Home is the beginning and the end. Home is the hot. Home is the hot. Home is the fire. Home is the hot, the head of the fire. Home is the hot, the head of the fire. And that's where home is. Home is the hot, the head of the fire. Okay. Home is the hot, the head of the fire. And so we can leave home and go to isolation, but we'll come back home. Okay. We can leave home, go to the I. So higher self is H. Him, I, and the I. Oneness. But oneness always includes everything else. So oneness includes everything. Everything is inside oneness. Okay. Now what we have is K. What is K? K is kiss. K is kill. Okay. K, color different ones. Hermit. And that's probably something there. There's a K, what's it? K, heaven. Heaven is K. I don't know much about K here. Kyle is K. Kyle is K. Kyle is kills. Right? There was a sniper named Kyle. Kyle killed. Right? And that was one of the movies.